rise of the divine feminine
Yes, the divine masculine.
I am Burma here. I am your intuitive healer, and this is my soul fam, Naeem.
Brother Naeem here, your total transformation coach, assisting you with improving your body image, dealing with past pain and addictions.
So we're going to talk about the rise of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. All right. So we have been living for thousands of years in a white male patriarchal system. And the old way is currently dying. This is what this transformation is about, the old way. And most spiritual traditions talk about this. And if you, like scientists, Dr. Bruce Lipton is one, he's very famous. He actually outlines a rise and fall. And what's happening is a new spiritual way is emerging. And part of that is the divine feminine is rising. And as the divine feminine is rising, she is going to be expecting the divine masculine to rise.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that too?
Indeed. The importance of the divine masculine rising is not only a serious component of the earth rebalancing itself, it's also a part of healing ourselves as individuals. So us rising is not just us serving the world and its energy, it's us also serving ourselves. So it's vital for our position to be put back in the proper place of the divine masculine.
Mm-hmm. So I guess first of all, let's talk about what is the divine feminine and what is the divine masculine. My understanding of divine feminine is a woman that is in her power with her feminine power. And women, part of our strength as women is being and receiving. Those are part of the feminine essence. And because we've been in a patriarchal system for so long, women have had to take on the role of doing, and giving. So a lot of us are just doing that. It's about the balance between the feminine and masculine. And so it's stepping into our power and learning how to heal ourselves deep down, heal the generational traumas, the generational curses.
Wow.
And as we heal, it's also about part of our self-love is receiving and just being, because so often, what do we do, women? Do, and we give, and we don't take the time to really nurture ourselves and love ourselves. And I'm going to have you talk about what the divine masculine is.
The divine masculine is the male returning to the original understanding of what it means to be a masculine individual in this world, the original understanding of how we're supposed to move, function, and be, and not in a sense of roboticism, but more in a sense of spirituality. The divine masculine is a man who is in tune with all of his sensibilities. So we're in tune with our emotions, we're in tune with expressing ourselves, we're in tune with the femininity within the natural energy that's all around us, and us no longer being the atypical macho male who is not loving, who's not caring, who has no patience, who has no kindness, who's only just straightforward, dull-headed, and not really open to being a more compassionate being on the earth. The original divine man is a compassionate being, which is why the divine feminine is so in love with him and is so nurtured by him. And that's why it's so necessary for us males to rise up and become who we truly are meant to be, and find strength within that. Because in society, the male is not seen in a sense of power amongst other men when you are sensitive, or when you are in tune, or when you are expressive, or you do show emotion. It's shown as weakness or softness, when in fact that's the reason why a lot of us men are so toxic and are so pent up with all that emotion. Is because we haven't expressed, we haven't felt, and we haven't found the strength within being in that form. That form seems weak to us, so we don't want to choose that form. We want to choose, I don't have emotion, I don't feel anything, I'm a real man, I just get angry at any situation that needs to be, any situation that is handled with curiosity and anger and rage and strength, and I demand to have what I have, versus us being in tune and understanding and a balanced individual.
And the old way of being a man, which was, I would call it the destructive masculine, right? I mean, a lot of us women have been hurt, have been damaged by because the pressure for especially the previous generations is to step in. What is a man? You're defined you need to be a player, which means you are just using women, right? You know, you just you block things off, all these things that have been like the old way.
There's a lot of blockage.
And there's a lot of blockage, yes. And it's not the empathy for the woman. It's not supporting the divine feminine. Mm-hmm. And women, we have like contrived ourselves and done all this stuff so that we can get what we can from the destructive masculine. Mm-hmm. It's caused like heartbreak. And even for the previous generations, we have so many generations of our mothers and our grandmothers that have been so decimated, you know, like, and if you're like a single mom, a lot of times you've experienced the repercussions of come on, women, like most of us have experienced the destructive masculine in our lives, right? Mm-hmm. And so what's happening is there's a shift. And that's why, like, you know, I'm talking with Naeem about the shift, because I feel like you really embody the divine masculine.
I see a constant pattern of me not having a connection with other males because of the way that I think I move and I function, because I'm not the atypical male, and I didn't have a lot of older males around me showing me and guiding me on how to be this kind of man, because I learned how to be a man originally from my mother, and she taught me to think with, you know, feel with my heart before I feel with my mind. And so I learned how to be a loving man before I learned how to be a demanding macho man. You know, I would say my strength and my more serious masculinity came on later in life as I learned a few things, but originally I was raised off of being a loving man and a caring man. Mm-hmm. And so growing up in society, I never really found a lot of men who could teach me what to do in situations based off the way that my mind works and the type of individual that I am. And I struggled with that. I struggled with finding my confidence as a man while feeling this way. How do I still appear and feel like I'm a strong masculine individual, yet I want to feel, I want to express, I want to be considerate, I want to truly love a woman for the way she's supposed to be loved. And amongst other men, you don't do that. You don't love no woman. You just use them and keep it moving and keep it grooving. Even if you are married or even if you are with the woman, you don't really show her the true divineness that she deserves. You might be in love and married to her for a while, but within 2 years, it's okay for you to start cheating. It's okay for you to have a little stuff on the side, because marriage is boring. Marriage is this and that. And these are the things that I'm seeing from the men in my community. I'm not seeing any men who take pride in standing up and saying, I'm no longer going to be this atypical male. I cast away my weaknesses and I embraced my strengths, you know. So I had to figure a lot of this out on my own. And when I learned and I seen this, I realized that this is the reason why so many of my sisters and my brothers are having so many issues, because the divine masculine is not standing up and being what he needs to be. And because of that, it affects the feminine, because she desires a man, and she, like you said, she has began to contort and move herself in a way that has lowered her status, and the world is flipped over. So now the divine feminine, who's supposed to be high and we're supposed to hold and protect and take care of, she has now been put low, and so low to where now she's nothing. She has no value. She has no status. She's just booty. She's just titty. She's just a body. You know, she's not the woman who nurtures, who feeds, who cares, who I need to make sure that she has what she needs. Because, you know, I've seen examples of that, and I've learned of that how you're supposed to treat a woman and care for a woman. But I feel that, like you said, lately a lot of women don't even have the confidence to look at themselves like a divine feminine anymore, because the other men don't want that. They want the girl that's easy to talk to, no complication, no nothing about her that I have to struggle and get through to.
So it is like as women come into our own and we embody like the divine feminine, and we hold ourselves high, and we're like, this is our standard. Like, this is how I'm going to be treated. This is who I am. What we're doing is we're going to call the men to either going to step up or they're going to step away. And like, I talked to Naeem about this, like, you know, I get, and like, but sometimes it's like, I feel like, especially the older generation, because the men that have been steeped in this patriarchal system for a longer time, they've been living this. They've been cheating. They've been with women, you know, especially the alpha males. Like, I get men, you know, and like, I'm saying this, like, I'm not saying this as a whole, but a lot of times I'll have men 40 and older that are just trying to step at me. And like, I can feel their vibration. I can feel how many women they have slept with. I can feel all the pain, because when you sleep with somebody, you take on their energy field. I can feel all the energy. And I know the mystic side Guru talks about that. He said, if you're sleeping with a new person every weekend and you think that doesn't matter, you're making a serious mistake. He said, you'll wake up 20 years later, you'll have the wife you love, you know, want, you have the career, you have the money, but I can't figure out why you're so restless and why you're not happy. He's like, it's because you've taken on so much pain from all these women. And that's what I feel like. I feel like the old way is like, it's not conducive to women, it's not conducive to men, and it's dying. But it's like kind of that shift, like how do women step into this, and how do men step into this?
Right.
And how do we bridge that? And I know for me, like, I'm really strict about that. Like I'm going to talk about this another time, but I've been celibate for 2 years because I am really strict about who is in my field. Like I'm not dealing with any of the divine, the destructive masculine. I'm like, no, and just period.
Right. And
like I'm just taking that time to really step into my power so that I'm clearing my energy so that I have this. But for a masculine, for divine masculine, I know that it needs to be someone, and like Naima and I are really good friends, and it's been really helpful for me to have you in my life. Just I'm like, this is how a man's supposed to be, and
that's what I learned as understanding what it means to be a divine masculine. It's not just for that one relationship that you have; it's for all the relationships that you have. Even as a male, the different, like you might meet different women along the way. But if you have stepped into your divine masculine, you're a whole male, you're a balanced male. You're not dealing with pain. You're not pretending to feel. Even if you don't walk down a longer journey with a woman, that whole time that you spent with her was full of love and care and understanding. So you're not leaving her hurt and left on the floor bleeding and in pain and confused and wondering why you didn't love her. She fully understood, and you fully understand. So as your journeys continue to flow on, she now can go on to her next person, or if she continues to talk to the next person, or if she's just by herself, feeling better, more positive, more uplifted, and will have more confidence moving forward. Because if you're in your divinity and I'm in my divinity, all we do is rise when we spend time together. You know what I'm saying? No matter who you're talking to or who you're with. So for us men, if we step into our power and realize the strength within being a more intuitive male, we can change the world. And I don't think it's so much that it's the men's job or the women's job. I think just both individually, we have to rise, because that's why the world is so imbalanced right now. The woman is not in her position. She's not in her high divinity, her sacredness now. The men have taken the woman out and put ourselves there, and we're not supposed to be in that position. And if you step into your divine masculine, you will understand that, and you humbly move to the side, and you allow the female to be where she's at, to be the queen she needs to be, and she will love you and pick you up and make you feel proud of being that divine masculine male. You don't feel inferior to her. You feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do, being that divine man that you are, allowing her to be the divinity that she is, being the mother, the goddess, so that she can feed, nurture, grow, and do what she got to do, because her divine masculine, counterpart is right there. And not even just as a spouse, but just as a brother, being a sister out in the community. If you know you have divine brothers around you, you don't feel worried. You know that they got you in the other kind of way. And on the flip side, as well as males, if we have divine sisters around us, when we are going through things, the sisters can help us heal and feel, and feel loved when we need that, when we need to feel just love from somebody. Because at times in life, you'll run into people and you're not really meant to journey with them, but maybe that person is meant to just show you some love because you need that right now. And if more and more of us have that divinity within us, we're going to have more successful interactions, and not just so it won't end up where, men ain't nothing, or I can't stand females, and, dog dudes are dogs. Those situations are going to start to diminish slowly. And it's just each person taking that opportunity to step forward and say, you know what, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that, because we have to change. Because everybody's tired of heartbreak. Everybody's tired of going through things. And, it's time for us to start to really be a real genuine people. It's the time for the rise of the masculine and the feminine divine to rise up and become what we're meant to be, and heal each other, instead of it being, like you said, the endless patterns of heartbreak. We need to kill this off. We need to stop this. The heartbreak needs to get to the point where it's no longer a normalcy, because we have healed ourselves individually. So that way, no matter what reaction you have with the opposite sex, we're
coming with love, and we're coming with equality, and we're coming with, I'm going to lift you up and you're going to lift me up, and I'm going to honor you. Like, I'm not here just to come and come and take. I'm not coming here to take, or I'm not going to come and betray. Like, and for both of us, and I think even for women, I feel like a lot of us have lowered our standards. I see, especially the younger generation, like, I have these small breasts, right? I see women that have my size breasts getting breast implants left and right
Yeah, I've
because
seen that as
because
well.
you know, I'm saying, you know, I'm empowered and it's doing it because I feel good, but like I feel like it's just another thing. Like we want the man to think we're valuable. Like why are we making these choices to get the man to desire us and to get the man, like if I have big breasts, like you're not going to cheat on me if I look this good, instead of being like, this is who I am and this is who I am, and you do what you want, but if you want to be with me, you're going to have to step up, man.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like where I'm like, you want to be with this, you have to step.
Right.
You have to step the fuck up. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, but really, you know,
real,
but more women are doing that, and we're doing this, and then men are like, oh, if I want that type of woman, then I'm going to have to transform and become this kind of man.
Exactly.
And you know, but that's what I feel like. I feel like, I mean, because I've got a variety of friends that are younger than me that I could feel like you're really stepping into powerfully, and I think it's because of the shift. Like there's a powerful shift going on right now, and I feel like the younger generations of men are more equipped, or they were born knowing that, yeah, I've been told that this is what it means to be a man, and I'm supposed to do all this player, and I'm supposed to, you know, even the word player. Why is a man a player? Like, no, he's really a punk, right? Like he's really, you know, he's really a user and a taker. Why don't we give it that terminology? But you know, I feel like your generation, like you are seeing that, and there's a number of you that are like, this doesn't feel right.
When we were kids, I remember that, like when I was young, before hormones took over, you could play with girls, you could be around girls and laugh and joke with them and play tag and stuff like that, and you wasn't worried about any type of sexual activity or nothing like that. That was just generally your friend who was a girl, or people in the neighborhood y'all would play with and do stuff, and it wasn't never no issues like that. So I know initially us men have a nature in within us that just want to love a female genuinely, but socially as we rise and we get older, different elements and things come into play and start to change our perception of the female. Like me, as a person who loves music, I've seen the status of the female dive as deep as it can go. You know, I watched it go, you know, from, like I said, the gangster rap music. It would be like, you know, the brothers used to be in love with they sister from the streets. They wanted a bad sister from the street because she was divine and she was on her stuff and she supported him and loved him. And eventually, over time, now it's to the point where they don't even want females anymore. They just want the homies. Like, I don't care about her. I don't even want some head. I don't even want no sex. F a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it is now. I just want me and my boys, just me and the gang. In the music video, you see them and all they homies. Ain't no females really even in the music anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it's to the point now where, like I said, the female has no status. And that causes the female to develop many different attributes about herself and lower her status and just end up being whatever she can. So a lot of females who don't even really want to have sex, they end up having sex because they like, well, this is what the guy wants, so this is what I got to do. You know, I don't want him to think that I'm not cool. I don't want him to think that I'm not going to put out, you know, or just whatever it may be. Or I don't want to lose having somebody, so I'm going to just do whatever I got to do just to keep him. You know, I'm not even going to ask him to rise up. I'm not even going to rise my standards. I'm just going to do what I can so I can just maintain. And the man, I feel like most men, from my perspective, don't even have any inclination to rise. I feel like it's mostly on my generation of us younger men who do still want to love women, who still do want to put more beauty out into the world. We just don't really know how to do that in a sense because it's not really laid for us to be that kind of male. But I've seen it within a lot of my brothers in the community who have that. I can feel that they have that energy and that vibe that they truly want to be a divine male, but there are no teachers for us to follow. We have, men on social media and stuff, but it's not nothing for this. I would say I haven't seen any men speaking about this. If they are, I just haven't seen it, but mostly I haven't really seen a lot of examples for my generation to follow. So that's why I'm stepping forward with the knowledge that I gained and speaking about the rise of the divine masculine and divine feminine. It's necessary for us to find peace in this world, for us to be who we are supposed to be for each other and for the world. And
that's what I mean, because honestly, like the union, and we're going to wrap up here in a minute, but the union of a woman that's strong in her divine feminine with a man that's strong in his divine masculine, that is a powerful union, you know, in so many ways, that's really the ideal. But so many of us, you know, women, like we're down in our divine, we're not, and you know, the men are in this destructive masculine, and when we start rising up, we're still dealing with men that are just in the destructive mode, and then eventually a lot of times, you know, a lot of us are just like, fuck it, like I'm done, and the betrayal gets too much. You know, we just watched I'm not even just having you watch Maleficent. I've never watched it.
Amazing.
And you know, I was resistant about it, but I was like, he was saying this is a metaphor for the divine feminine.
It's a message for the divine
You know-
feminine. If you have not seen that film, look at it. I did not think anything of it when it first came out. I didn't consider it at all in any type of shape, way, or form. But my mother showed it to me, and then when I watched and I seen somebody in the studio secretly wrote in, this is a movie that speaks about the rise of the divine feminine. If you've seen this film, watch it. Both films are available easily for you to watch. Like, check it out, because it's definitely, if you can go watch that and check out the message that's in there, especially for you women out there who want to see, you know, something about that will help you get a little bit of an understanding of what the power of the divine feminine is. It's amazing. And that's why I said, me as a divine male, I just step back and bow, and I respect the position that the female holds, because I know that's where she's supposed to be. She is the mother, she is the nurturer, and I'm the male, and I play my role, and I'm good with that. And more of us brothers need to understand that and come into that.
And the masculine role really is to do and to give. Did you hear that? Like, the man's role is to give. Like, it's to be in this, to have a man that's supporting you, that's got your back. And that doesn't mean that, you know, you're just sitting watching TV all day and not doing stuff, you know. But like, you're doing your stuff, and your man's got your back. Like, he is. And you're not worrying about like him cheating and him doing the stuff and the betrayal. Like, what I liked in the movie where she was that betrayal. You know, but you know, it's about the betrayal. And I think for a lot of us women, that's the thing, right? It's the shock. I was looking at my you know, what I would divine the, you know, because I'm a healer and I've been healing some of my wounds. But I'm like, what was the big wound that I'm healing? And I was thinking it was abandonment. And I was like, no, it's betrayal. It's like the shock of betrayal. And I think so many it's a new, you know, like my mom was saying, it's a newer feeling. It's the shock of the betrayal, that pain, but also when you don't even understand or know, the first time you feel heartbreak, you're hurt, which is initial feeling, but you're also your mind and your body and spirit are trying to understand what is happening, because something just happened inside of you that you didn't think could happen. And any of you out there who ever really had your heart broken, you know what I'm saying, really hurt by somebody that you truly loved and you trusted, and they just, you know what I mean, just kicked it like it wasn't nothing, and it shocked you, and just you could not even believe it. And it was so much, I'm sure it was so much grieving involved in things like that. And that's why I'm so grateful that you're out here in the world and the people can find you and you can heal your heart. It's not, I never thought you could do that, but because you have stepped into your divine feminine, you've gained your healing abilities, and now you're able to go out and be amongst the people. You're not sitting at home trying to find yourself and figure out who you are. You stepped into your power, and you stepped into your divinity, and now you're able to be who you are for the world. Yes. And more of us have to do that. Each of us have some type of attribute to add and to give, and that's why it's so necessary for the divine feminine and divine masculine to rise up and kill off these old school ways of being weak-minded and easygoing people. Like, we are powerful beings. We are powerful beings. But the system has placed so many things, and I'm gonna end on this, that the system has placed so many things in our world that stop us from connecting to that. When you see something spiritual, they title it as sci-fi or fiction, or, you know what I'm saying, it's something that's not real, or that's somebody's imagination, or that's another reality, or that's a cartoon, or that's just a movie. You don't get to correlate yourself to a divine being. You just think we're standard humans on earth, in the world. I'm in America. Basic. They keep your mind as basic as you can think. And it's our job to climb up out of this basicness and realize, oh snap, they done buried our spirit and our mind underground. And we have to unearth ourselves and regain our power back, because that's the only way we're going to fix the world, is each one of us taking that opportunity to say, you know what, I feel you, I'm with you, let's do this. Let's start loving each other. It feels so good to know that I can interact with somebody and I don't have to worry about you or whoever, you know, like my friends and the people in my life, they're not going to hurt me. You're not going to do nothing to me. You're not going to, because we, like you said, it's the trust issues, it's the betrayal that blocks people and keeps people away from each other in this distance thing. So we start working on ourselves and healing ourselves and becoming whole individuals. When I interact with somebody, whoever we meet, I'm not there to take, like you said, we're both, if two people are both full, if we're all full, we don't need to take nothing. We could just give and exchange, and it's beneficial and it's genuine and it's beautiful and it's vibing. Like I said, my biggest ordeal is I want to help my people stop having so many negative interactions with each other. Not everybody's going to be together, but I want to start that even when you are just dating somebody or seeing somebody or talking to somebody or having any type of interaction, it's always positive from beginning to end, because you two are both
stepping into your power, and you're not there to take, you're only there to give. And you're only going to keep people around you who are there to give. And it's necessary for us to rise. That's my word that I'm going to end on.
Yeah, and I think that's, I'll end with that too. Is like for all of us women is to really step into our power and to demand that we first love ourselves the way we deserve to be loved, because we are so used to a lot of us being treated like,
Yeah.
So, I didn't want to just say shit, right?
No, I slipped up and slipped the B out there earlier. My apologies, sisters. You know what I'm saying?
But, so it's to step into, like, this is who I am, this is my power, and grow our power, grow our self-love, go in deep. And that's what I work on when I work with my clients, is I work in deep with healing everything.
Right.
So in healing the generational things and stepping and demanding this, and then expecting that of the men in our life. And I don't allow men in my, not even close to me, no one in my inner circle is not the divine masculine. They're not allowed.
Right.
A lot of times I won't even have a conversation. Like, I can feel the vibration. I can feel it. Is when we start demanding that.
Same here. I have the same experience. Like we were talking about that earlier, how over the years I kept changing the type of women that I was interacting with, and I changed myself as well. And now I'm at that point now where I got Bird and very few other women in my life who I communicate with who are divine feminine, and it's so beautiful and it's so positive. I'm like, I didn't even imagine I would be in a place where all the women that I interact with and talk to are all positive, fulfilled beings. They don't need nothing from me. They don't have a ton of bucket of issues that I got to help them sort through. They're solid, and that's what we have to give each other, is that solidness. Like, we're good, we're balanced. One other point, I know I said I was going to end, but I just thought about it right now, is the other thing we were speaking about.
We can talk for hours.
We can.
I
have to throw this in there because it's correlated. It's correlated real quick, and I'm done. I promise. It's short. So I was saying how one of the reasons that we have so many issues with us not understanding our divinity within stepping forward in our femininity and our masculinity is the options. Originally, no matter what path you walk, the Creator doesn't have all these options on the table. Today in society, you have so many options of what you can be. You can be this, you can be that. You don't see the owl trying to be a monkey. The owl don't say, well, how come I can't be a monkey? How come I can't have a tail? And then people, be like, well, yeah, how come you can't have a tail? How come you can't be furry? We should march and demand that we need to be able to be monkeys if we want to be monkeys. And everybody does have free will, but there's a reason why things are set in place, because it keeps the world in balance. If the monkeys start wanting to be fish, ain't nobody going to be able to keep up with the ecosystem, because each animal provides a certain energy and a balance to the ecosystem. And us humans as well, we provide a balance to the ecosystem, but we have been brought up in a society where you can choose whether or not what you want to be, what you were created as. And I'm not dissing nobody. All I'm saying, there's a cause and effect to these things, is that when you put so many options on the table, you're no longer in a balanced state, because what is meant to be is no longer there, and the foundation is starting to crumble, and we can all see it. I mean, everybody has their opinions, but look at the state that the world is in. We have to heal, and the only way we're going to do that is going back to what we originally had settled, that was working for us and keeping us all beautiful and harmonious.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, beautiful ones, we're just in this period.
We got a lot of comments down here at the bottom. We have to swipe down. They've been really giving us some love. Appreciate that. I don't know. I don't have my glasses on, Bird. You're going to have to dip in there and see what they got going on.
I get into the talking section.
Indeed.
All right.
Well, thank you, beautiful people, for tuning in and listening to our positive words. We pray that, this energy that we've given you and these words that we share with you have resonated with you, and hopefully we hear from you more often. And you also rise, because when you rise, we all connected and we all feel it. And in that moment that you rise up, it's another soul somewhere that gets inspired and says, for some reason, I just feel like I want to change. I just feel like I want to do something different. And it's because of you decided to make that change. So do that, feel that, be that, and we're going to all be one someday.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.